Hi everyone! Are you preparing for your SPM English speaking test? Let me give you some guidance. I'm Teacher Jai and I'll break down exactly how to score well on your paper 3, part 3. In this video, I will focus specifically on the theme of crime prevention. So, let's look at some recent child questions from different states like Kedah, Terengganu, and also Batu Pahat. Here are all the questions on crime prevention. The first step is to simply understand these points, which will be your building blocks for your entire conversation. What you want to do is to identify words, phrases that you do not understand, or maybe you are unsure of how to explain. For example, do you know what is suspicious activities, neighborhood watch, hotspot area, police patrol, or even high-risk area? If, let's say, you're not quite sure what these words mean, you want to look up the dictionary now. Or maybe if you do not have the confidence on how to give explanation to the points in the questions, you want to do your research now. The idea is to make sure you don't go, or even say things that don't really help you to get marks in your exam. So you want to prepare now. So if there is any words that you are not sure of, always remember to search up the dictionary and do your research. So very important, before the exam, go through as much trial question as possible. These will actually give you an idea of what kind of questions to get to minimize the surprise you will have in the exam. So once this is done, the next step is learn how to turn those points into a flowing, high-scoring conversation. You want to use a simple but powerful formula that I've prepared for you here, TOE. T is for topic. This is your introduction. You need to introduce the subject you're about to discuss. O is for opinion. This is where you state your main point that you choose from the question and present it as your own opinion. E, explain. You can give reason, detail, or even an example to support your point. This is where your examiner wants to make sure that you can develop your ideas. So always remember the 3 methods to give your explanation. You can either give reason, provide further detail, or the best way when you are unsure of is to give example. So let me show you how to actually apply the TOE method in the Kedah trial question. Watch till the end of the video where I'll share with you a full conversation table. So let's imagine this is what you get in your exam. The middle circle is your T, topic, while the 6 points surrounding the circle, it's going to be your O, opinion. So the whole idea is to first briefly state your topic in the middle, mention one of the opinions given in the questions, provide one simple explanation, and then you can pass to the partner. Repeat the cycle. So here's how candidate A could start the conversation using the TOE method. Firstly, clearly states the topic. You can say something like,
crime prevention is in the spotlight recently. Let's talk about different ways to prevent crimes.
Next, choose one point from the mind map. For example,
in my opinion, the most fundamental steps to prevent crimes in a society is by locking the windows and doors.
Now, you want to give your explanation why.
By securing entry points to homes and vehicles, we create a physical barrier that deters opportunistic criminals who often look for easy, unlocked targets.
Finally, to keep the conversation going, you can pass it to your partner by asking simple questions like,
what do you think?
Now, it's candidate B's turn. you don't need to introduce the topic again. First, you gotta agree with your partner. Then, you can choose a different idea from the mind map. For example, let's just use report suspicious activity.
Another effective method is to report suspicious activities to the long arm of the law.
Notice the use of a nice idiom there, the long arm of the law. Very important word. You want to remember it right now. So the long arm of the law is basically the police. You also notice that when I present my ideas based on what I've chosen from the question, it doesn't have to be word for word. I don't have to use exactly what the question has given me. Notice how in a question, it is actually report any suspicious activities. But when I say it out loud, I can just use the word report suspicious activities. Meaning to say, if there's any words that you can use to upgrade the given words in a question, you can actually do that. So once you have stated the points from the questions, you want to remember to explain it. For example,
by doing so, it allows police to investigate and potentially intercept criminal acts before they happen.
And again, don't forget to end with a question. For example, you can actually just say something simple and short like,
"Isn't this great?"
So you can see very, very easily how the conversation flows, right? It's a simple back and forth, like how you would play pickleball, like how you would play the badminton. You just want to pass it to another person, then pass it to another person, and so on and so forth. This is how the whole conversation will flow. But of course, to get a higher band, strong vocabulary is key. So let me highlight some vocabulary that you can use under the topic of crime prevention. Take note, write it down somewhere. You want to take a piece of paper now, write it down so that you can actually revise these words before your trial exam or even your SPM exam. In our first example, we use phrases like in the spotlight, deters, opportunistic criminals, long arm of the law, potentially intercept, criminal acts. So you can go back to the previous slide, write down the meaning, revise, make sure you understand. Of course, there are more words that you can use, which I did not give in my example. For example, words like look out, amiss, think twice, there's safety in numbers, street crimes, and also be vigilant. So let's look at a full conversation table. So here, you can see the pattern clearly. One person gives an opinion, another one explanation. One person give an opinion and explanation, then the other person will respond and adds their own point. Notice the connecting phrases used, which are highlighted in yellow. For example, words like in my opinion, by doing so, moving on to the next point. You want to memorize a few. These are what we call discourse markers, or some students know it as cohesive device. They are very important in a conversation. They are also very important when you are writing your essay. They can make your conversation sound natural and also smooth. These will help to show the examiner that you can connect ideas logically. So, to recap the entire strategy, always remember to start your conversation, to start your discussion by using the TOE method. Topic, opinion, explain. Use interesting vocabulary to elevate your points. Use discourse marker like however or even I agree to link your ideas. Most importantly, always remember this is your discussion. So remember to interact with your partner by asking questions. So that's all for the video today. We've come to the end. And I hope you will be able to practice this TOE method with your friends and it will become second nature. Thank you for watching. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what other themes you want me to cover. Good luck. See you in the next video. Bye.